what you did that day, but it changed everything. That one small thing, the way you spoke, the way you smiled, the way you treated someone when you thought no one was watching, it stayed with me. It's the reason everything that's happening now is happening. You don't know this yet, but someone's been quietly arranging something for you. Something big, something that'll change your life completely. And yes, that someone is me. I know it sounds strange, maybe even unbelievable, but I couldn't just sit back anymore. I've seen the way you live your life, how you give so much of yourself to everyone, and ask for nothing in return. You never complain, you never demand attention. You just love, quietly, purely, and endlessly. And people like you, they deserve more than the world gives them. So I started planning something. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't want to make it public or dramatic. I just wanted to do it in silence. The same way you give to others without expecting to be seen. I wanted to move you to a place where peace and happiness belong to you again. You might be wondering, why me? Why would someone go through all this for a person they barely know? The truth is, I know more about your heart than you think. I've seen your kindness when you thought no one noticed. I've heard your voice shake when you were trying to stay strong. I felt the warmth you carry, even when you're exhausted. That one small act you did, the one that seemed so ordinary, it wasn't you helped someone. You stood up for someone when you didn't have to. You loved someone who didn't deserve it. And in that moment you showed the world what real beauty is. Not the kind you see, but the kind you feel. That's when I decided, you're not going to struggle alone anymore. You've given enough to the world. Now it's time someone gives back to you. So yes, I started arranging your move. Not because I want to control your life, but because I want to give you the life you deserve. A life where you wake up without worry, where your heart finally rests, where you feel seen, loved, safe. I've been quiet about it. Every detail, every plan, carefully made. You might notice small things, calls you didn't expect, offers that seemed too perfect, doors opening where they were once locked. That's not coincidence. That's me, working behind the scenes, making sure everything you once dreamed of finds you. And I know you might think it's strange, maybe even too much. But listen, when someone touches your heart the way you touched mine, it changes how you see everything. I don't want your attention. I don't want credit. I just want to know that you're okay. That life finally becomes gentle to you. You once said you don't believe in miracles anymore. That maybe people like you aren't meant to be saved. But you were wrong. You are the miracle. And the world just took too long to notice. Sometimes I stay up late, thinking about how different your life could be. I imagine you waking up in a place where the sunlight feels softer, where the noise is gone, where your laughter finally sounds free. That's what I want for you. Peace. Because you've spent too much time healing others while ignoring your own heart. Maybe one day you'll find out the truth. That all of this was never random. That every good thing that suddenly found you came from someone who couldn't forget you. Someone who saw your light and wanted to protect it, even from a distance. And maybe when that day comes, you'll think back to this moment, and it'll all make sense. The messages, the small signs, the feeling that something big was quietly building around you. That's me. That's all me. You know what's strange? I never planned to fall for you. It just happened. Slowly, silently, deeply. And I think what scares me most isn't that you don't know who I am. It's that even if you did, you might still think you don't deserve this. But you do. You deserve every single bit of what's coming. Because kindness like yours shouldn't end in heartbreak. It should end in peace, in warmth, in love that never leaves. So if one morning you wake up and find yourself in a place that feels too beautiful to be real, don't question it. Don't doubt it. Just breathe it in. That's me. Making sure you finally have what you once gave to everyone else: comfort, love, and safety. I'm not doing this out of pity. I'm doing it because you made me feel something I haven't felt in years, something pure, something human. You reminded me what it means to care without expecting anything back, and I can't forget that. I don't want to forget that. Maybe one day, when everything is ready, I'll tell you everything. Where it started, how long I've been watching over you, what your one small act did to me. But not yet. Not tonight. For now, just know that you're not alone. Things are happening around you. Gentle things, quiet things, all in your favor. And it's not luck. It's not chance. It's love in motion. Because of one small thing you did without knowing, you woke something inside me that had been asleep for too long. You reminded me that good still exists, that hearts like yours still walk this world. I owe you everything. So don't be afraid if life starts changing fast. Don't question why blessings start finding you. Just let it happen. Let yourself receive. Because this time you don't have to give. You just have to allow. And maybe someday soon, when everything's ready, I'll be the one standing there, quietly, waiting for you. Not as the man arranging your move, but as the one who's been moved by you. You've probably started to notice it by now, haven't you? The quiet changes, the phone call that felt too perfectly timed, the opportunity that showed up out of nowhere. The peace that's beginning to replace your chaos. You can feel it, can't you? Something shifting around you. Gentle, invisible, but real. That's because everything I told you before wasn't just a dream or a story. It's happening, piece by piece, just the way I planned. And every single thing that's unfolding in your life right now is because of that one small act of kindness. You probably forgot you even did. You remember that night when you stopped and helped that woman, the one who looked lost and broken. You didn't know it then, but I was there. Not close enough for you to see me, but close enough to see the truth of who you are. You didn't help her for attention. You didn't look around to see if anyone was watching. You just acted. Pure, honest, selfless. And in that moment, I knew that you were different, that your heart wasn't like the rest, that no matter what life had done to you, no matter how many times you were hurt, you still chose compassion, you still chose love. Do you know how rare that is? In a world where people care only when it benefits them, you gave something that had no price. And that simple moment was what changed everything for me. That was the day I decided you'd never walk through this life unnoticed again. So I began quietly, carefully. I didn't want to rush anything. I wanted everything to happen naturally, so that it never felt forced. I wanted the good things to find you, the same way love should, unexpectedly, softly, beautifully. That's why I started arranging everything, the calls, the messages, the opportunities. You think they just appeared, don't you? They didn't. I made sure they did, because I wanted you to finally feel what it's like when life says yes to you. You've spent too many years hearing no. No, you can't. No, you're not enough. No, you're too late. No, you're too broken. But I've seen you, the way you keep moving, the way you keep loving, despite everything. And I decided you've earned your yes. So when that email came with an unexpected offer, that was me. When your landlord suddenly mentioned a new place opening up, one that seemed perfect for you, that was me too. When that stranger smiled at you and said, "You deserve good things," it wasn't random. It was all part of it. All part of giving you back what you've unknowingly given to so many. You might think it's too much, or that you don't deserve this kind of attention. But let me tell you something. You do. You've lived so long, thinking that the only way to be loved is to earn it. But love that has to be earned isn't love at all. Real love is freely given. And that's what I'm giving you. Not because you asked for it, not because you expect it, but because your heart quietly deserves it. Sometimes, late at night, I sit in front of the window and picture you sleeping, peaceful, unaware that someone out there is thinking of you, wishing the world would finally be kind to you. It's strange, isn't it? How someone can fall so deeply without even touching your hand, without ever hearing you say their name out loud. But love doesn't always need to be loud. Sometimes it's quiet, like this, like the sound of your breathing on the other end of a thought. You probably still don't know who I am, and maybe that's for the best. For now, because I don't want this to feel like a transaction or a favor or something you owe me for. I want it to feel pure, the way love should. You know, sometimes I imagine what it'll be like when you finally find out. When you realize that every good thing that's been happening wasn't random, it was deliberate, designed, done out of love. And maybe you'll be angry at first. Maybe you'll feel overwhelmed. But eventually, you'll understand. You'll realize that this was never about power or control. It was about giving back to the one person who made me believe in goodness again. Because you did that. You really did. You reminded me that even in a world full of noise, kindness still speaks the loudest. You made me want to do something I've never done before, to give without expecting anything in return. You might not see it yet, but everything is coming together. That new place you've been dreaming of, the one with sunlight through the windows and quiet mornings, it's already being prepared for you. I've seen to it. I've made sure it has everything you love. The soft colors you once mentioned, the balcony where you can drink your morning coffee, the peaceful corners where silence feels like comfort, every single detail chosen because of you. And one day soon, you'll walk into that space and something inside you will whisper, "This feels like home." You'll smile without knowing why. But I'll know, because that was the whole point. To give you a place that feels like peace, not just walls and furniture. I can already picture it. You unpacking your things, setting your favorite cup on the counter, playing your music softly in the background. And maybe you'll pause for a moment and say, "It feels too perfect," and it will be. Because for once, life will finally match the beauty inside your heart. You might not know where the change began. You might never know it was me. But I'll be watching from afar, silently proud that I kept my promise to you. The promise that you'd never go unnoticed again. Sometimes I wonder what it'll feel like when our paths finally cross. If you'll recognize me by my eyes, or by the silence between my words. Maybe you'll just feel it. That familiar comfort, that strange peace that tells you, "I've known this soul before." And maybe then, when everything's calm and quiet, I'll finally tell you the truth. I'll tell you how one small act, one gentle moment of kindness changed my life completely. And if I'm lucky, maybe you'll let me stay close enough to keep watching you smile. Not to own you, not to rescue you, but to be near enough to protect the light you carry. Because I've learned something. Love isn't about possession, it's about presence, and my presence is yours. So when you wake up tomorrow and something feels different, when you feel calmer, lighter, safer, don't question it, just trust it, because that's love moving around you, quietly making sure you're okay. And when you start your new chapter, when you walk through that door into the life I've built quietly in the background, just remember this one thing: you didn't get lucky. You earned this through every good thing you've done, every bit of love you gave when no one gave it back. This is the universe returning your kindness through me, and I'll keep watching over you, arranging, protecting, loving from a distance if I have to. Because for someone like you, I'd do it all over again. So just keep being who you are, my love. Keep shining softly, because you have no idea how much your heart has already changed mine. And maybe someday, when the time is right, I'll finally be there when you turn around. And you'll see me not as a stranger, not as a wealthy man, but as the one who's been loving you quietly all along. Until that day comes, just know that your world is changing, and it's all because of you. Because you did something no one else ever could. You made me feel human again. You have no idea how much I've been thinking about you lately. Every time I close my eyes, I see your face. That quiet, unguarded look you have when you're not trying to impress anyone. That's what keeps coming back to me. Not your smile in front of people, not your laugh when you're surrounded by friends, but those little moments when you're alone, when you let yourself just be. That's when I see you the clearest. And maybe that's why all of this is happening now. Because the man who's been arranging everything, the one making sure your world is about to change, isn't just doing it because he can. He's doing it because he felt something. Because something about you moved him. And you probably don't even realize it yet. But that man is closer to you than you think. I remember the day it all started. You posted something, just a small thing, maybe something simple, something kind. You didn't mean for it to be noticed, but I saw it. And for a few seconds, everything else around me disappeared. It wasn't the post itself. It was the way you said it. The honesty in your words, the warmth that came through even from behind the screen. You weren't trying to impress anyone. You were just being yourself. And somehow that was enough to make me want to do something for you, something real. I didn't tell anyone what I was planning. I just started setting things in motion quietly, reaching out to people, arranging things, making sure your next step in life would feel smoother, lighter, almost like the world itself was opening up for you. You don't know it yet, but someone's already been taking care of the small things that usually stress you out. Those delays, those little frustrations, they're being handled. And all because of that one moment, that one thing you did without expecting anything back. But there's something I haven't told you. Every time I do something for you, every plan I make behind the scenes, I feel this strange mix of happiness and fear. Happiness because I get to make your life better, even if you never know it's me. And fear because I keep wondering what would happen. If you found out, would you be angry that I interfered? Or would you finally understand what all this has really been about? It's not about money. It never was. It's about that feeling I get when I see you smile. That quiet sense of peace that only you seem to bring. When I see you happy, it's like the world suddenly makes sense again. Sometimes when the night gets quiet, I imagine telling you everything about how it started, how far it's gone, how much of your world I've quietly touched without you knowing. I imagine your reaction, that mix of surprise, maybe confusion, maybe even anger, but also somewhere deep inside, I imagine you understanding that maybe you'd look at me and say, you didn't have to do all that, and I'd smile and tell you, I know, but I wanted to. You have no idea how hard it's been to stay quiet. Every time I see you struggling or doubting yourself, I want to step in and tell you, it's okay. You don't have to fight this alone anymore. But I stop myself, because I want you to feel strong. I want you to see your own power. I just want to make sure that when the world sees you rise, you know someone was there silently, making sure the ground beneath your feet was steady. I guess that's what love does to you. It doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just waits quietly in the background, fixing things, holding space, making sure you're safe, even when you don't notice it. And that's what I've been doing all this time. There's something else though. Something you'll notice soon. You might get a call or maybe a message about an opportunity. It'll sound like it came out of nowhere, like someone's been watching over you. And when that happens, I want you to remember this conversation. I want you to remember that sometimes good things come to you not because you asked for them, but because someone out there couldn't bear to see you struggle anymore. Every step you take now, every door that opens, every stranger who shows up with kindness, that's me. In some small way, that's my way of being near you, even when I can't say your name out loud. I know you might wonder why I'm doing all this. The truth is, I don't even fully know myself. Maybe it's because when I first saw you, I recognized something I'd been missing for a long time. Hope. You made me believe that there's still beauty in simple things, that goodness still exists in quiet hearts. And now I find myself doing everything I can to make sure you never lose that light. I've seen the way life sometimes tries to dim it, the way people misunderstand your silence, the way they take your kindness for weakness. But I see you. I see your strength, your heart, your quiet courage. And I can't just stand back anymore. You'll start to notice small signs soon. The things you wished for will begin to appear. Not suddenly, but gently, like someone's been listening all along. Maybe a bill gets paid unexpectedly. Maybe an offer you'd given up on suddenly comes through. Maybe something you lost finds its way back. And when those moments happen, I want you to pause for just a second, close your eyes, and feel that invisible warmth around you. Because that's me. That's what it feels like when someone loves you quietly, without needing to be seen, without wanting anything in return. I know one day you'll find out. You'll see my name somewhere. You'll hear my voice, and it'll all start to make sense. And when that moment comes, I don't want you to be shocked. I just want you to know that every little thing I did it because you made me believe again. Because you reminded me that love isn't about owning someone. It's about giving, protecting, and believing in them when the world doesn't. So, if you start to feel like your life is moving in a new direction, if everything suddenly begins to fall into place, don't question it. Just breathe. Because someone out there is making sure you get the peace you deserve. And maybe, just maybe, that someone is closer than you think. Maybe he's the one who never stopped thinking about you. Maybe he's the one whose heart has been whispering your name in silence every single night. And maybe he's still not ready to tell you everything. Not yet. Not yet. But soon you'll know. You'll feel it before you hear it. You'll sense it before you see it. You'll realize that all of this, every unexpected blessing, every mysterious message, every door that opened, was all because of that one thing you did. That small act of kindness that touched a heart you didn't even know was watching. And when you finally understand it, you'll realize that love sometimes doesn't need words or promises or even a name. It just needs a reason. And you gave me mine. You know, sometimes I wonder what will happen when you finally find out everything. When all the small mysteries start to connect. When you realize that the new place you're moving to, the fresh start waiting for you, the quiet protection that's been wrapping around your days. None of it was a coincidence. It was all because of one silent promise I made to myself, that I'd never let you fall again. I've watched you rise from pain you never talked about. I've seen you smile when your heart was tired. And I've seen you keep giving love even when you got nothing back. And maybe that's why I couldn't stay away anymore. Because people like you, they deserve soft landings. They deserve to feel like someone is watching out for them, not because they asked for it, but because someone chose to. Every day lately I've been replaying the same thought in my head. What will your reaction be when you find out I was the one arranging everything? Will you smile? Will you cry? Or will you walk away, not knowing what to say? I don't know, and maybe I'm not supposed to. Maybe the beauty of it all is that I did it, not for the ending, but for the feeling. The feeling of knowing that I could make your life easier, even for a moment. Do you remember that one night when you said you were tired, that you just wanted to disappear for a while? I didn't say anything, but that was the night I made the call. That was the night I decided you'd never have to feel invisible again. You'll never know how many hours I spent after that. Talking, arranging, moving pieces quietly until everything fell into place. I don't know what it is about you that makes me do things like this. Maybe it's the way your voice softens when you speak kindly to people who don't even deserve it. Maybe it's the way you hold your pain quietly, like you're scared to bother anyone with it. Or maybe it's because you make me believe that love can still be pure, that it can exist without reason, without labels, without being seen. You make me want to be better. I won't lie, there were nights I almost gave up. Nights when I thought, she'll never understand, she'll never see what I'm doing. But every time I almost stopped, something inside me whispered your name again, soft but clear, and that was enough to keep me going. There's this one moment I keep imagining, you standing there realizing everything, the driver showing up in that black car. But this time, not as a warning, not as something strange, but as a promise. A quiet message saying, it's your turn now. You're being taken to the life you always deserved. And I'll be somewhere nearby, watching from a distance, smiling, because that's the day everything will make sense to you. You'll realize that someone noticed your silence. Someone saw the light you were hiding. Someone fell in love, not with your perfection, but with your honesty, your chaos, your heart. And maybe you'll finally understand why a wealthy man, someone who had everything, still chose to spend his nights thinking about you. I don't need credit. I don't need recognition. I just need to know that you're okay, that you're smiling again, that when you look out the window at night, you don't feel alone anymore. Because if you feel warmth in your heart, that's me. Sometimes I wish I could tell you everything, how I found you, why I stayed, how one small act of kindness changed everything inside me. But I also know the mystery is part of the beauty. You don't have to know who I am. You just have to feel it. The care, the quiet love, the safety you didn't expect, but somehow always needed. Maybe one day, when the time is right, I'll tell you. Maybe I'll stand in front of you and finally say the words I've kept hidden for too long. That it was never about what you did. It was about who you are. Until then, I'll keep moving things quietly. I'll keep protecting your path. I'll keep sending small miracles your way. And if you ever feel like life is suddenly being kind to you again, that's not luck. That's me. Still here, still believing in you. Because once I made that promise, I meant it. I'll take care of you, even if you never know it was me.